Hey, this is Tony Holland, founder and CEO of Global Premier Benefits. I'm here today with a living legend, Arric, the man Allen. How you doing, Arric?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing today, Tony?
All the way from Mississippi, huh?
Yeah, I came up from Mississippi.
Yeah. DeSoto County, right?
DeSoto County, Olive Branch, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah?
Good to be here, man. Good to be here talking to you. You're a legend in your own right. So
Thank you, brother.
It's always good to have a conversation with you. It's a little bit different today since we're on camera, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you're going to have fun with it, Arric. Listen, I'm going to tell you, you've been a true blessing to me and many other people in the industry. I remember when we first met, it was back in August of 2012, man. And to see you grow and see you change so many lives. I mean, you've been an inspiration to so many people, Arric. But where did it all start for you?
Well, as you mentioned, I'm a country boy. I'm from rural Mississippi. Grew up in a small town. And, you know, when I was in school, I always wanted to have something. You know, I wasn't a studious person, wasn't very smart, didn't have the honor A's and B's in school. But even that, I knew I wanted to do something big in life. Yeah. You know, I always had in my mind, you know, talking to my friends, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So just that desire from an early age to be successful in life.
Right.
Now, not knowing at the particular time how I was going to reach that goal.
Right.
But just having the drive to realize one day I'm gonna do something special, and I think that's been the driving force for a long time in my life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So back when you were young, you grew up on a farm?
I did, in a cotton field.
In a cotton field?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Many years chopping cotton. Never picked cotton, but I chopped a lot of cotton in my days.
Did you really?
I sure did. Did. Yep.
So did you go off to college?
No.
You didn't go to college?
No, I'm not and again, from a very young age, I knew I wasn't very studious in school, and I knew from a young age college wasn't just for me. Yeah, I said again, I knew I wanted something big. I knew I wanted big things in life, but college is at that particular time in my life, it just wasn't. I didn't see myself going that route to get to where I needed to be.
Well, you've proven that you don't have to go to college to be a great success. I mean, you're a multi-millionaire. I mean, I know you're a very humble man, but what you've accomplished in your life is truly tremendous, man.
Well, thank you.
I compliment you. You know, I think college education is great. I went to college, went to Johns Hopkins, and that's all great. But really, you know, success in life is having that right attitude, which you had. You had that big vision, that big dream.
Absolutely.
And your work ethic. Where did you get that work ethic from?
On the farm. Getting up, working every day. Before I go to school, had to make sure again, I'm a country boy, so don't laugh. So I had to make sure the chicken was fed, make sure the hogs was fed, and so my granddaddy made sure that if we don't do anything else, we're going to learn how to work hard.
Yeah. And
he really instilled that into us as as young kids.
Do you think that's a difference maker in today's society?
I really do. Ethic? I really do. With the technology age, I mean, it's good within itself, but I think a lot of young people have really lost the value of hard work and what it really, really means. Okay. And and there's no secret to success. We all know you work hard.
Right.
Now you get to the point where you work smart, but eventually, initially you have to work hard until you're able to figure it out. Okay, how can I do this more smarter without working as hard as I always have done? But initially, everybody, you have to work hard.
Absolutely. And and work ethic, being on a farm, I mean, it was bred into you. But where did you get that positive? I've never heard you say anything negative. Matter of fact, I've been in your nice new Mercedes. You get like a new one every year. You know, you always have something motivational on your radio. Where did you get that drive with the right attitude on top of the work ethic? Because they both go hand in hand. Tell us about how you had that champion positive attitude, no matter what you're dealing with. Where's that come from?
You know, when I first got into the insurance business in 1994, the very first book I read was "Attitude is Everything." Forgot the author name away. Maxwell. I forgot the guy's name, but anyway, attitude is everything. And from that was my very first book reading, to be honest with you. But that book helped me to appreciate that it starts with our attitude.
Right.
If you have a good attitude, you can do great things in life.
Right.
Being negative, nobody cares.
Right.
It keeps you in a slump. And again, I mean, what results or what good from a person being negative? What good come from a person having a negative attitude? And so I think from just feeding myself positive things, because it all starts back with what you put in your mind.
Right.
Yeah. Again, just like that farm analysis, what you plant is what you're gonna get.
Right. You reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow. Absolutely. So just making sure, and I try to do this on a daily basis.
Right.
Make sure that I listen to something that's gonna make me a better person, first and foremost. Something that's gonna uplift me, something that's gonna inspire me. Because I realize if I listen to the news all day, every day, I mean, what's that's gonna do to me? What's that's gonna do to my attitude? And so again, just making
it's not going to bring you up. It's going to bring you down.
Absolutely.
Nothing but garbage in the media nowadays.
Absolutely. And I realize everybody got a blues story.
Yeah.
And, nobody want to hear you sing.
Negativity sells in the media. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the key is feeding yourself something positive every single day. I get up in the morning. I make sure I listen to something inspirational, something encouraging. And I think that's the key. Right. I think that's the key.
Well, you and I have a lot in common. We talk a lot. We've gotten to know each other very well. We're like family now. But you and I talk a lot about the father in your life, and because a lot of people don't realize that you can not start out with the best of everything in life and still make it big.
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't. My grandfather was, I guess, more of a father figure than my actual father was.
Did you know your real father?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
He just wasn't in your life.
He wasn't in my life as much as he could have been. It was just, a good man, but just wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah. But again, my granddaddy did a good job.
Yeah. And your mother?
And my mother, she worked all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't understand the sacrifice our parents give or sacrifice on our behalf. Sometimes that could be a good thing because you see the love that they're doing what they can to provide. But the negative thing about it, where the time is not there.
Right.
And so I found myself having to raise myself. My granddaddy wasn't there. I had I had two younger brothers, so I was the older brother in the household. So I became more of I'm not going to say a father figure, but I was a big brother. So I had to, a lot of mistakes I had to learn and experience things that I think if I had a father, I could avoid some of those things, some of those, those mishaps in my life.
Yeah. Well, you had a good foundation, which is great.
I did. And, as I got into my late teen, I started developing a relationship with my Heavenly Father. And I'll truly say that was the base or the foundation as far as me learning how to be a man and looking at the principles in God's Word, the Bible, and just building understanding from a biblical standpoint what I need to be, growing up as a man.
Awesome. So I think faith is very important.
Yeah.
I think I've always said that, Eric, that you keep God first. And no one's perfect, but if you keep God first in your life, it's amazing what He can do for you. I mean, He can make up for 20 years of mistakes just like that.
Absolutely.
So that's beautiful. I'm glad you shared that you have a strong faith in God. Now, how did you get into the business? I mean, you told us about your foundation, your family, your upbringing. I know there's a lot of people watching this now that can relate. But what was the moment that you crossed into the insurance business?
Well, I was working right out of high school. I was working for this factory at that particular time. Didn't know what I wanted to do in my life.
At a factory?
Really, yeah.
What kind of factory?
It was a factory that made basketball goals.
Basketball?
Yeah,
goals.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so I was, a young kid. I knew I wanted to do something big, but just didn't know what it was.
Right.
Okay. And again, I knew college wasn't the way at that particular time that I should have gone. And one of the guys that I worked with, he said, "Man, you would be a great insurance agent." Now, insurance is nothing that's on my mind. Yeah, most people don't grow up thinking that, okay, I'm going to be in the insurance business.
Yeah, your guidance counselor, teachers didn't say that either.
Yeah. So what's the word? Serendipity.
Yeah.
It was like it just happened.
Right.
But it was a benefit. I'm glad it did.
Right.
So when he mentioned that, I got to thinking about it, and he said, I got this guy. He's in the insurance business. He worked for this company. It was a home service company, a debit company that collected money, house to house collection during that particular time. And so I said, I talked to him. Let me just see what it's about. And so I had an interview, set up an interview, like what I heard. They hired me, and it just went from there.
Wow.
And I never turned back.
Wow.
Best decision I made in my life.
So you started on a debit book.
I started collecting on a debit home service company. Believe it or not, I was collecting 50 cents a week.
50 cents a week
to some of my clients.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That goes a way back in the old debit book.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it was time that we struggled, that I struggled in business, just like anybody would. But it laid the foundation. It taught me a lot about rejection.
Right.
It taught me how to deal with people, and it taught me how to relate to people as well. Yeah. And I always been somewhat of an introvert by nature.
Right.
But it really helped me to appreciate that, there's good, just to see how people live and the experience and everybody have a story.
Right.
And, it was the best decision that I ever made in my life. Yes. And if I had to do it all over again, I would take the exact same steps. Wouldn't do anything different.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Arric, going into the day we met back in, I don't know if you remember, it was back in August of 2012, and we got to know each other. I remember showing up in that office thinking I was going to meet a whole room of people. It was just you by yourself. And from that point on, I think you had about 18, 19 agents that time, and where you've grown today. What has Global Premier Benefits done for you in terms of, because you were already well-established, successful entrepreneur out of Memphis, Tennessee, and in northern part of Mississippi, DeSoto County. What did that partnership do for you in terms of your business, your lifestyle, your opportunity?
Well, as you mentioned, I think we was doing pretty well before we met you and came on with Global, but I think you added a more of a structure to our organization. You gave the track, with the system, and so we was able to bring everything together. Again, we had agents that was doing quite well, but you brought everything into one package, one system, and it became more structured for us. So I want to thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And the training, 3 days a week we have training, so we was able to plug right in with the training. Any new recruits, we was able to plug those new recruits right into your training, and I think that was a really, really big boost for our organization.
Yeah,
and like I said, we was doing good at the time, but now when we connected through Global, then it just took it to another level.
I want to thank you for trusting in me.
It was difficult at first because I know I've been around for quite some time.
A lot of FMOs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember Miss Brenda would say a lot of these FMOs blow into town. They blow out after they made all these mistakes. So what was the difference there? Because I know you've been with other FMOs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I like I said, I can't say how thankful I am to having you, Arric, because you've been a great partner. We feed off each other. We support each other. We've been through a lot of similar situations in life. What made your partnership with Global different than any other FMO you've been with? Because you've been with a few. Yes,
I have. Well, first and foremost, the fact that you flew down and met with me. It was more of a personal, to you, it was personal. Up until meeting you, I may have talked to a couple of FMOs, but I never met any other IMO or FMO in person.
Right.
They didn't see the need to fly down and talk to me. You gave me your cell number. How many agents connect with these FMOs and IMOs? Number one, they don't even know who they're with.
Right.
They know the company name, but they don't have any idea, any clue who's behind the organization, let alone their cell number, their contact number. you was quite different. You gave us your number, not just me, even my team member. You gave us your contact number. You told us if we have any question, any concern, we can always call you, and we did, and you answered the call. You answered the bell every time. So that is something that's different in our organization, or in our business, the insurance business.
Right.
Most companies, FMOs, IMOs, they're just they contract warehouse. They get you contracted. You never hear any word from them again. You never hear anything else from them again. And
just
so,
a number.
you're just a number.
Yeah.
Just a number. So you don't mean anything to the organization. You prove that it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
You built your organization, and that's something I appreciate about you. But you built your organization on personal relationship. Yeah, and that that's valuable.
Well, you know what, Arric, you touched on some really great points. What has this done? This being in this industry and being in a partnership with Global, what has it done for you and your lifestyle and your family?
It's life changing. It's life changing. When I first got in the business, just like everybody else, we do it for money. When we first get into business, we do it for money. But at some point, you realize you come to a fork in your life where, I don't know. Okay, you realize, okay, I'm doing pretty good monetarily, but at some point, you have a bigger reason why you continue in this business right here. It's not just the money is a byproduct of doing the right thing every time that you do it. Okay, and so having that realization, to me, relationship building, developing relationship, meeting people, getting to know them, viewing them as part of your family. That's more important to me than anything else. The money gonna come. The money gonna come eventually, but it's those relationships that last for a lifetime.
Well, you told me about your relationship with God, and I respect that highly. And building relationships is important. Why don't you talk about besides God, the most important relationship is the one you have with your wife. Your wife's in the business with you too.
She is. She puts up with me. That's not an easy job.
She puts up with you. Huh?
That's not an easy job. And
how important that is for someone to have their spouse to be so supportive as your wife is.
Your wife is your backbone of this business. We spend a lot of time working this business, and I think it's very important to have somebody that's supportive, somebody that's realizing what's the ultimate goal in life is, because it's not easy. It's not easy. We work 70, 80, 90 hours a week, and sometimes even more.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. And not having that support, if you don't have that support at home, then you're not gonna just be able to do it. You're just not gonna be able to do it. So realizing that our spouse has to make a sacrifice as well.
Right.
Yeah, they have to make a sacrifice as well. And I mean, that is very important, and my wife has made so many sacrifices. Just putting up with me, that's a sacrifice, number one. Yeah. But again, having me put so much into my business, having me pour so much into other, agents, she really have been supported in that as well.
Well, I was told back in the day from Mr. Old Art Williams, remember him, there's nothing more powerful than a husband and wife team.
Power couple. Absolutely.
You guys are definitely a power couple. Let's go, Arric. I want to switch gears about what makes Allen and Associates so special. I mean, you guys are at the level where you're out producing majority of the FMOs in this industry. I mean, you're a legend in Medicare, and you're so humble. I mean, you don't, you're not a flashy person. You don't, tout, the success, but you've had some extraordinary success. What makes Allen and Associates so special? Because I mean, we look at the Leaders Board often. I mean, some of the most successful people in Medicare, in the insurance business across the country, has come through Arric Allen and Associates. What makes Allen and Associates so special that you got? I mean, numerous people making six-figure income, millionaires themselves that you created. What makes Allen and Associates so special in terms of it's creating kind of this leadership factory of 6- and 7-figure earners? What would you say that is?
I definitely don't think it's me as a person, to be honest with you, because again, I think I could be used as a tool by God Himself, but I think that we're more of a community.
Right.
Yeah, we're more of a family. I'm not concerned about just having thousands of agents, to be honest with you, Tony. I'm concerned about having the right agent.
Right.
But I'm concerned about, even more than that, I'm concerned about, do I want this person, or can I work with this person to the extent that I view this person as a family member? And I think that's what we have. We have a community, and we love each other. Our agents we're like brothers and sisters,
Right.
and we'll do anything for one another. So I think that, again, that relationship is key. You have, just as I mentioned earlier, a lot of agents don't have access to their upline, to their
Right.
direct upline. You
Right.
can call, anybody can call me at any given time. I'm gonna answer the phone. If I
Yeah.
don't answer, I'm busy. I'm
Right.
gonna call you back.
Right.
As soon as possible. I think that makes a difference. People have to know that they have to trust you,
Right.
and people have to know they need to know that you care about them. I think that's important.
You put the love in the business.
I try to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can tell the way you deal with your people. I mean, you love them, and your people love you.
Well, they're family.
Yeah, they are.
They're family. Yeah.
And that's how you get through those challenges together. So, Arric, I mean, you've built an unbelievable hundreds of agents across the country. You've done tens of thousands of sales. You've created 6- and 7-figure earners within your organization. Where do you see the future in terms of yourself, your team, and Allen and Associates as a whole? What's that look like?
Well, I want to continue to develop agency managers.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I don't do it for the money. I do it to help other people. So finding the right individuals,
Right.
the right managers, getting them connected, just grooming the right person.
Right.
There's a lot of young people in this world. And again, I come from a community, many of us just didn't make it out where I come from.
Right. Me too.
So I'm looking for those same type individuals.
That are hungry.
They're hungry,
Yeah.
and people have counted them out. They have counted them out.
You like the underdog.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep.
So Arric, you shared a lot. I really appreciate you taking the time out today to share with the audience. There's some people on here right now watching, saying, "Man, I connect with Arric. Man, he's walked in my shoes." What advice would you give that person looking at us here together that's considering this industry? What words of wisdom could you share as we wrap this meeting up today?
Well, I take myself for example. I'm not the sharpest person, sharpest knife in the kitchen, as the expression goes. But believe in yourself first. Connect to something that's gonna, propel you to the next level. Rid the garbage out of your mind. Turn off the news.
Right.
Turn off anything negative. Cut it out of your
Right.
life. Change your environment.
Cut some people out of your life sometimes.
Sometimes it takes that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes that. Start filling your mind with things that's going to help you grow.
Amen.
Yeah, because here's another thing. If you're uncomfortable, then you can grow. As long as you're comfortable, you're in that environment that you grew up in, that you're comfortable in, you're never going to get anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. So challenge yourself. Turn off the radio. Listen to something positive. Listen to work on yourself. I think
Right.
Jim Rome say work on yourself more than you do a job.
Yep, I agree.
And so I think it starts there. It starts with the mind, with the attitude, and what we feed our mind on a daily basis.
Like it, Arric. Great words of wisdom. So there's some people watching right now. They want to get in touch with you. How do they go about getting in touch with Arric, the man, the legend, Arric Allen? How do they get a hold of you and your organization? What's the best way to contact you?
You can call my office, 901-207-2145, or you can reach out to me via my website, allenandassociates.agency.
Okay.
You could fill out your an inquiry card.
Okay.
It come right back to me, and I would definitely give you a call back.
Awesome. Listen, I'm going to tell you, we love you, man. You've been one of the best partners I've ever had in this business, and I have no doubt anybody that joins your team and connects with you, will get the best they could ever receive in this industry. So we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you and your family. It's been an honor and a blessing to be part of your life and your family's life. So thank you, Eric, for sharing.
I feel the same
today.
about
Thank you, brother.
and I'm glad we got a chance to meet. 12 years ago?
12 years ago, man.
It's been
going on 13.
It's been a wonderful ride.
It's been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing.
Yeah.
God bless you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony.
Great job, Eric. Thank you.